Hi, I'm Chloe from Barbecue Asylum, and today I'm going to show you how to make my perfect, imperfect cheesecake. Let's get to it. Okay, so to start with, we're going to get our Weber up to temp. So we're going to do an indirect cook today. So we're just going to use a basket on one side of the Weber. We want to get our Weber up to about 160 C. So that should take about half a chimney of heat beads. Now that our Weber's getting up to temp, we're going to take a 24 centimetre spring-loaded pan. We're going to lightly butter it, and then we're going to line it with baking paper. So now I'm going to put the tray onto the baking paper. I'm going to draw around it, and then I'm going to cut the base out. Okay, so now to make sure that we get all around the edges, I've rolled out my baking paper. I'm going to measure it with the tin. So I'm going to hold the tin up to the edge. I'm going to roll it across until I've gone the whole way around to know exactly the right measurement. So now I'm going to pop this inside the tin just to make sure that the sides are lined and that cheesecake's not going to stick. If you have any that overlaps, make sure that it's all the way to the edges, and then you can just trim that piece off. Okay, let's get started on the base. So I've got 300 grams of nice biscuits here and 180 grams of melted unsalted butter. So we're going to take our biscuits, going to pop it into a food processor. We're going to blitz them up until they're a fine breadcrumb consistency. Okay, so now our biscuits are all nice and fine. We're going to combine our 180 grams of melted butter in with the biscuit. We're going to use a spatula and mix it until we make sure that all the biscuit is wet. So now that our mix is nice and combined, we're going to put it into the bottom of our pan. Once we've got it in there and we start spreading it a little, we're going to use a glass with a nice flat bottom, and we're going to use that to compress it down. Handy tip, now that we've done the base, we're going to pop this into the fridge while we make the filling. So we're going to use 750 grams of cream cheese. We're going to use a set of hand beaters, and we're going to give this a blend so we're ready for our next step. So here I have 3 tablespoons of plain flour. I'm going to add this in. I'm going to give it a light mix so it's just combined. So the next lot of ingredients is 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 190 grams of sour cream, 2 cups of caster sugar, and the zest of 1 lemon. So now we have our ingredients in the bowl. We want to give it a blend, but we don't want to mix it too much. We want it to be just combined. Okay, so I've got 3 eggs here. I'm going to mix them in slowly, one at a time. I'm going to give it a light beat in between. Now it's really important that we don't over mix this, because if we do, it's going to rise a lot, and we don't really want that to happen. So now that we've blended this together, I'm going to tap it on the bench several times. The reason we're going to do that is we want all those air bubbles to come up, because we really don't want that cake rising. So now we've knocked all the air bubbles out of this, we're going to put it onto our base. So now we're going to put our cheesecake into the Weber. We're going to put it on the opposite side of the coals, and we're going to take a piece of apple wood and we're going to pop that directly over the coals. So we're going to leave that apple chunk in there for about 15 minutes. That'll give it a nice smoke. You can see I've got the vent over the top of the cheesecake, which is going to draw that smoke over it. After the 15 minutes, we'll take that piece out and we'll leave the cheesecake in there for another 45, so an hour total. Okay, so we've had our cheesecake in now for about 55 minutes. Let's have a look. So what we're looking for is we want it to be nice on the outside, but we still want it to have a bit of a wobble on the inside. Okay, so now we've let our cheesecake cool. Let's open it up and see how perfect or imperfect it may be. I don't know about you guys, but it looks pretty bloody perfect to me. Okay, so now we're going to dress it. We're going to do it 2 ways today. So we're going to do half with beautiful fresh berries, and then we're going to do the other half my way. Everybody knows I've got a mega sweet tooth, so we're going to do it with some homemade caramel sauce. Light dusting of icing sugar. Let's enjoy it.